Hi, it's the Joe Luft. We are here at Crow Farm. Today we are going to talk some pumpkin patch, some apples, and some corn. Let's go.
I got drone footage, apple orchard and some leaves. I got drone footage, pumpkin patch and some tall trees. Drone footage, apple orchard and some leaves. Drone footage. Come on and ride through Cape Cod with me. Drone footage. I got drone footage.
Fall in New England. The air is ripe with the aroma of Tom Brady, David Ortiz, pumpkin Dunkachinos, and apples, which is why we headed to Crow Farm. Hi, it's the Joe Luft, and I am here today with my guest, Paul Crowell of Crow Farm. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
So let's get right into it. What is the history of Crow Farm?
Well, my grandfather and his brother purchased a property in 1916, and my grandfather went off in World War I, and my great uncle managed the farm for a few years until my grandfather got back. Great uncle wasn't really that much into farming, so they, split everything, split off. My grandfather David stayed on the farm, started off, it was a truck farm. They also had a small dairy, 4 or 5 dairy cows, and chickens. He had a lot of chickens. He had thousands of chickens. My grandfather liked the chickens, my father not so much.
Did you like the chickens?
No.
What didn't you like about the chickens?
Dirty, nasty.
So no more chicken. You talked about your grandfather, how he started the farm.
Yeah.
What is kind of your, birth into the farm from, when you started to obviously when you kind of made the switch recently? What's that story been like? I
always liked to grow apples. So it was, that was kind of my, you could call it a passion, but, it's what I really was interested in doing. Mm-hmm. And we did everything for, really, like I said, up until 2 years ago. And a couple of years ago, before COVID, I felt like I was being stretched in too many different directions, trying to grow 50 different crops and taking care of them all and having them all come out good. And so we kind of put a plan together to eliminate the retail and wholesale, if you go back to the way we used to do it, and wholesale a few crops in the summer and focus on pick your own apples and pick your own pumpkins.
I think people know that a farmer's job is always very tough, but what is that really like? It's
the kind of job that you really have to like, because if you look at it from a pure business standpoint, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You work an awful lot, you do not really make a lot of money. You can make a good, you have a good comfortable living, but for the hours that you put in, it just, if you really looked at it like a businessman, it might not make a lot of sense.
Growing up, did you think, I want to do this?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to do it.
Had there been points in your life, though, you knew you wanted to do it, but you're kind of like, maybe this is more than I can, take on, or maybe I should do something else?
No, I never felt like I wanted to move on, but maybe I always realized somewhere in the back of my mind that it was, spread pretty thin. It just, I had too many irons in the fire.
It almost sounds like an artist where they might, start with one kind of medium that they really enjoy doing, and then throughout their career, it's, it changes. They have the core principles of what they enjoy, but there's only so much you can do for so long without maybe running into a roadblock or...
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's true. And even over the years between my grandfather, my father, and myself, I mean, things changed. I know when we closed the stand, a lot of people were worried that we were going to, sell it and, not be a farm anymore. And it's, we've been through a lot of changes. Maybe not quite as drastic as closing the stand, but I guess you could say opening the stand was just as drastic. To go from all wholesale to all retail, it was a big step. Getting rid of the animals was a big step. Starting the greenhouses was a big step. So, you know, it's progress, I guess you'd call it, or just tweaking it, you know, in account of the resources you have, the time you have, the interests you have at any given time.
So we've got the apples, the pumpkins, and the corn maze. I say we've talked about it. Let's go check it out.
All right, let's go.
Like all hard-hitting journalistic pieces, it's a requisite to get the walking and talking shot. And boy, we did not miss. What makes a good apple? Like when you're looking at, you know, I think lots of people come here and they think they see this great apple on the tree and they grab it, it's not it. How do you pick the best apple?
See how that's, the sun, it's kind of hard, but
yeah,
it's not like totally green. It's got a little
like a yellowish.
yellow. But then compare it to that one.
And so that is what we want or what we don't want?
Yeah, that's what you want. See, it's kind of yellowy.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it's got a bright red. And that's the color that people think of as, that's the color that
An apple.
strain of Fuji should be.
So the back color is really what people...
And it's kind of yellowy. And that, like, pretty much fell off when I picked it.
So if it's like falling off, that's like...
Then that's definitely ready.
Can I try this apple?
Oh yeah, please do.
Let's do that.
It's a nice sweet apple.
Do you get this a lot? How about them apples?
Yeah.
Matt Damon. How many times do people say
I've heard it a few times.
I had that one written down. I had to do it.
There you go. I figured you must have somebody writing stuff.
But the hard-hitting questions didn't stop there. So there's no such thing as a bad apple?
Really, whatever apple you just picked off the tree ripe is going to be a really good apple.
Does the apple fall far from the tree?
No. That saying is true.
After absolutely nailing that Matt Damon line, it was time to move on to greener pastures. Or should I say, oranger pastures. Or is it orange pastures? Orange? Is that what they say on the East Coast? So yeah, can you tell us about the pumpkin patch?
Well, this is this is a pumpkin patch. There are 4 or 5 different varieties in here. They all get different sizes, or you know, it might be a different color.
Can I pick up one of these pumpkins here? What's the best time of year to start picking a pumpkin?
Late September.
What's your favorite, pumpkin carving or pumpkin pie?
I kind of like to carve pumpkins.
The Smashing Pumpkins, great rock band or property destruction?
A great rock band.
Rest easy tonight, Mr. William Corrigan. For today may be the greatest, but tomorrow is a new one. And before we venture on to a new morn, we had one last frontier to complete. The corn maze. Oh, look at this. Got ourselves a fellow patron here. I have a show on Sandwich Community TV.
You got a sandwich where?
It's DJ Luft, and I'm here with...
Brandon.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared this conversation is going to keep going and you're going to keep asking really stupid questions.
Interesting. It's DJ Luft, and I'm here with...
I'll tell you my name. My name's Dick.
Pleasure to meet you, Dick. Can you tell us about the 1971-72 championship year?
I was the starting quarterback for the squad. Had been since my sophomore year. That usually don't happen, but it did in our case. Was dating a girl named Mary Claire. Anyways, we won that championship. I ain't married to Mary Claire now more. I still talk to her, still see her on the Facebook.
Were you a starter or were you the backup quarterback?
Boy, what did I just tell you?
Good evening, madame. How are you doing?
Well, I'd be a lot better if a homeless dude in a suit didn't come up to me with a half-eaten apple and a microphone asking me stupid questions.
Okay, playing a little hard to get. You seem a little boxy.
Your face is a little boxy.
Do you think you get a bad reputation for scaring crows?
Oh, do I get a bad reputation for doing my job?
What do you call a group of crows?
Friends, something you'll never have.
No, it's a murder. Group of crows is a murder.
Come on and ride through Cape Cod with me. No food. I got no food. No food. Apple orchard and some